Here is my speaking outline. Why is your life so boring? No, seriously, why? You have no friends, no passions, nothing to offer. Why? These are the questions I was asking myself 5 years ago. And unfortunately, these are the questions that many people are asking themselves these days, including probably you. But by listening to my story, you might be able to spice up your own life and save it before it's too late. A fulfilling life does not come naturally. Through my struggle with an empty life, I realized that it requires a lot of hard work and effort from yourself and others. Today, I'm going to be telling you the story of how I used to have this previous belief that living life passively would get me what I wanted, how failure sparked change, and how I developed a new belief that you need to put in a lot of effort to get the life that you want. Now that I've given you the overview of what I'm going to be talking about, let's start this journey off at the beginning. When I was a child, everything seemed to be automatically provided for me. When I was young, I had 2 loving parents, 2 permanent playmates in the form of my brothers, and my passions and interests were simply provided for me by my family or by the school. For that young part of my life, seemingly, I had very little choice in the matter. I almost never made my own choices. And this resulted in my middle school and high school, I was just shut in. During my middle school and high school, whenever I was faced with a problem, whether that be bullying or being lonely or interested in a girl, I would respond to it by being silent and just waiting for it to blow over or distracting myself with video games and TV. This was the state I was in going to junior year. And that's when I realized I had to change. Junior year made me go crazy with how bored and monotonous my life was, and it spurred me to change. COVID was really what started it. Because of COVID, I was stuck at home alone, and once I would get done with my 2 hours of work, I would just stare at the ceiling or watch YouTube videos. I had nothing to do. My life felt so empty. And because of this, I was at my wit's end. And so I decided to talk to some acquaintances just to entertain myself. And what I realized was that we were all in the same boat. Right then and there, we made a declaration that we were going to make the next couple of years of our lives the best we had ever had, because we weren't content living like this anymore. And surprisingly, this worked. Me and that group of acquaintances ended up going on adventures. We ended up creating amazing things and forging amazing friendships. And it was hard. It took financial planning, it took scheduling, it took dealing with mental and physical problems. But it ended up working. And I'm still great friends with those people to this day. It wasn't just with relationships that I improved myself, though. It was I ended up taking risks, cultivating my passions, and reaping the rewards. Me and my friends created an environmental club at our high school. Even though not many people seemed interested, we ended up working hard at it, and it became extremely popular. When I was doing poorly in my classes, I would study day and night, and I ended up getting honor roll for the next couple of years. In addition to this, I decided to become a master craftsman. And even though it took years of cuts and burns and failed projects, I succeeded. And finally, I ended up getting my first kiss, even though it took many awkward conversations and rejections. What all this taught me was that my previous belief was wrong, and I decided to create a new belief, which is that I finally understood that a monumental amount of effort is required to get this fulfilling life that I wanted. I had 2 main takeaways. Don't fall into the trap of an easy life. Sitting at home all day, eating potato chips and watching TV is easy. It's a bad habit that's easy to form and hard to break, but you can't let it control you. Second thing was that you can't fight alone. I would never have been able to do all the things that I talked about without the help of my friends and institutions. Those are the people that motivate you to get up in the morning at 7 a.m. even when you don't want to. Now that I've told you my new belief and the takeaways that I have from it, let me wrap things up by overviewing what I've spoken about today. Getting a fulfilling life does not come naturally. Through my own struggle with an empty life, I realized that I had to switch my belief and put in a ton of effort into making my life good. Now, for some of you, that may seem like years away, but I promise it is worth it. Being a better person, being a friendlier person is good for you and the world. And I'm imploring everyone that whatever it is, if you're turning your whole life around, or if you're just pursuing one goal that you've been putting off, do it. Cross that bridge, run that marathon, talk to that girl, even when it's hard. And then someday, you won't be asking yourself, why? You'll be declaring to yourself, why not? Grab life by the horns.